word about cursing. So I was talking with a seer, someone who could see spiritual things, and he described. And I write about this in the new book. That's not out yet, but he describes sometimes he'll be talking to someone and like a black ball will just come out of nowhere and land on the person, and then she physically sees a person sort of shrivel up a little bit. And other times he has seen like a white ball come out of nowhere and land on a person, and he sees a person lift up. And he's like, well, these aren't demons, these aren't angels. What are these things that are coming? And so there's been times where he has engaged the person in the moment. What happened just now? What happened? And it's like, well, I don't know. I just suddenly feel really depressed. And then other times he's been interacting with people and he sees someone who curses, blast so-and-so. And this black ball leaves her mouth and goes off into the spiritual atmosphere. And he's made this connection that probably is going to go land on somebody. When the proverb says life and death are in the power of the tongue, it meant it. There are parts in the New Testament where Paul says, don't slander. Don't talk bad about people. Let your yes be, and Jesus says this, let your yes be yes and your no be no. When we bless people, maybe something spiritually goes out. When we gossip about people or tear them down, maybe something dark goes out. Maybe. How about we live like it does? How about we live like it does? And so when you feel really angry about somebody and you just want to lay it before the Lord and try to speak life and turn it upside down. And is that an open doorway whenever like you cursing people and all this darkness comes? I don't think it's maybe an open doorway to the demonic, but I do think it's impacting that person's spiritual atmosphere. We know people who, I just said this to someone. Most people don't know God loves them because nobody has told them that in a way that isn't judgmental. So you live in Chicago or the Chicago area anyway, and I used to live up there, and you'd be on the train and someone would come and they would ask for money, homeless person, and then you wouldn't give him the money. They, well, God bless you. And like, that's actually a curse, right? So that doesn't count. God really loves you. Like he does. And most people have never heard it. That's really good news. And we shouldn't keep it a secret. Most people have all they ever hear, especially young people, all they ever hear, particularly because they're on TikTok all day, is that they're not pretty enough, they're not fast enough, their skin isn't as nice as it should be, they're not good enough, their parents tell them they'll never amount to anything, they're no good, they're worthless. Probably maybe there's not even a dad in the house, and the only way you're going to measure up, especially for girls, the only way you're going to measure up is if you sexually perform like you see on your porn videos you're watching. And they've never known the love of the Father. Because too often, these people are outcasts. And Christians don't like outcasts. We like people who look like us. And that's the truth. We like people who look like us. I like people who look kind of like me. And I don't just mean like looks. I mean same level of education, same income levels. Someone who likes tennis. I like tennis. Someone who likes like Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings. But we need to love the outcasts, the people who aren't like us. That's part of this new consciousness, this new society that Moses envisioned. Leaving in the law, they left extra food in the fields for the poor. They left extra food in the field for the immigrant. There's laws in Leviticus who said the immigrant, don't be rude to him. Now that's you know, people are like, well, that's the Old Testament law. It does not apply to us. Yeah, but maybe the principle applies to us.